Davis House Child Advocacy Center is here to serve children who experience the most intense, terrible things that you could experience as a child, being abused by someone that you trust, but being in a situation that is no fault of your own, but that affects the rest of your life.
You know, we see all kinds of cases here, but I think one that is always going to stick with me is a 7-year-old that we had come in, a 7-year-old girl who met with our forensic interviewer and began describing some events that had happened with her stepfather that were clearly inappropriate. She doesn't realize that these sexually inappropriate things that are happening were even wrong, because she was made to believe that it's just what stepfathers and their little girls are supposed to be doing. There were a lot of dynamics in it because the mom was really not believing of her, and so that added another layer that was complicated. But the little girl did have a little brother who, you know, had to live through this too. He had his own dynamics that came with this because the family fell apart. But we were able to wrap around her in that time frame where it was really heightened for her and be able to provide services and support for her to know that, 1, this was not okay, 2, she will be okay.
Davis House was started in 2000 by a task force that had convened around issues of dealing with child abuse in the community and trying to make sure that as much as possible the system was working for children. One of the big things we do at Davis House is provide counseling services and other wraparound services in terms of advocacy for a child and their family. And whatever they need to really walk this road of healing from the abuse that they've experienced, we want to provide that, and we want to make sure that we are constantly present. And on the back end of that, when they're thinking about where are they now versus where they were when they started, are they able to say, I'm happier, I don't feel as depressed as I used to, I don't think that this is the only thing that defines my life. It's a part of my story now, but it's not my whole story. But one of the things that we've recently just started here at Davis House, in partnership with the Nashville Children's Alliance in Davidson County, is a real focus on working with victims of human trafficking and also child victims of online pornography, provide specialized services to victims that come out of that arena, out of that world. Nashville is one of the leading places in the United States for human trafficking, and we are working to try to make sure that when a victim comes out of a situation like that, if they're rescued from something, that we're able to be child-friendly and immediately available to work with them and to begin to move them into whatever system is needed. A lot of people think that child advocacy centers are completely funded by the government. That's not true. It's about 1/3 of our funding. The rest of it comes from other things that we do, like fundraisers that we do each year. Some of them are significant, others are smaller, but we receive about 30% of our funding from events. And then the rest of our funding comes from individual donations, corporate sponsorship, things like that. So we're really in the community hoping that people will believe that our cause is worth their finances and their resources, and doing our best to make sure that they understand that their money is being spent 100% to help these victims. I just want to say thank you to cityCURRENT for the opportunity to tell a little bit more about Davis House and to help the members of cityCURRENT really understand what it means for children in our communities to know they have a place they can come whenever they need it. And that's what Davis House is here to do. So we thank members of cityCURRENT. I want to especially thank Mickey Randolph with Randolph Business Solutions for the opportunity to be here today, and for all of you for all of the ways that you support nonprofits throughout the community, but specifically today for Davis House Child Advocacy Center.